Hey, what is happening? This is Linus, you're watching TechLine, and this is Poco F4. So this is the device that has a Snapdragon 870 chipset, which by the way doesn't overheat, and it also has a 64 megapixels camera at the core, a 120Hz refresh rate display, and a lot more other features. As always, let's take a look at the main features, pros and cons of this device, and see if this is the right phone for you. The F4 follows a familiar design language we've seen on other Poco and Xiaomi devices, for instance the X4 Pro. We have a rectangular-shaped phone that sports a flat 6.67-inch AMOLED display which is covered with a Gorilla Glass 5. The screen sports a 120Hz refresh rate, up to 1300 nits of brightness, it supports HDR10+, Dolby Vision, and it is easily one of the best panels you can get in this price range. It is super sharp, vivid, and it can be easily seen outdoors. The backplate is made of unspecified type of glass, which, just like any other glossy glass finishes, is prone to fingerprints and smudges. The frame is made of plastic and I like its matte finish. The whole body is IP53 certified to protect the device from accidental water splashes, and the phone feels nice in the hand, even though I would prefer more rounded edges on the backplate. The build quality is excellent and the phone looks a bit more expensive than it actually costs. At the time of this video, the retail price is about 350 euros in the EU, but prices may vary in different regions. The F4 is the thinnest Poco phone yet, measuring at just about 7.7 millimeters, and it weighs 195 grams. Despite these measurements, Poco managed to fit in a 4500 mAh battery that performs great. I could get about 8 hours of screen on time, which is a very subjective measurement method, so your mileage may vary. You may get more or less depending on your usage habits. Either way, charging time is just 38 minutes with a supplied 67 watts super fast charger, so you can refill the battery quickly if needed. In terms of camera, we have a 64 megapixel shooter at the core, an 8 megapixels ultra wide, and a 2 megapixels macro lens. On the front, there is a 20 megapixel shooter. There is no micro SD card slot, but as usual to Poco, you get a lot of other useful features like an IR blaster, NFC, very fast and accurate side-mounted fingerprint reader, and a dual speaker system that is one of the best in class. The audio is rich and full, and the speakers get quite loud. Here is a quick audio test. Snapdragon 870 has proven to have plenty of power to handle pretty much all of the latest 3D games without any issues, and the F4 is no exception. You can play your favorite titles with no lag or stutter, and most importantly, the chipset does not have any overheating issues. I play titles like Genshin Impact, PUBG, Call of Duty, Asphalt 9, and all of these games ran absolutely fine. My unit has 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, but you can choose models with up to 8GB of RAM and up to 256GB of storage. We have the MIUI 13 that is built on top of Android 12. The feature set and the look and feel is the same like on any other Xiaomi or Poco phone. Plenty of customization options and tweaks to play with. I found the phone to be very fast and smooth on a daily basis. Very good overall performance. When it comes to image quality, the wide-angle camera could produce sharper looking photos, but the main shooter is capable of taking some really nice images. I would even recommend using a dedicated 64 megapixels mode that preserves good image processing but produces more detailed pictures. A very good overall image quality from the main shooter. A 2x digital zoom mode can be useful at times, but don't expect stellar results. A portrait mode is fine, but some of the trickier shots could definitely have better edge detection. A macro camera is kind of disappointing like on most of the mid-range phones. In low light, the wide-angle shooter does not impress, but the main camera is capable of taking some decent looking shots. Even 2x zoom photos look okay. Low-light selfie quality, however, is just mediocre. When it comes to daylight selfies, they are nice and detailed. However, there are some minimal artifacts around the edges in some of the portrait shots. Still, they look pretty good overall. For handheld video recording, I suggest you use 4K 30fps video resolution. The footage is sharp and detailed even though the panning is a little bit choppy. Despite that, you get a nice, stable and smooth video. 4K 60fps mode gives you more frame rate at the expense of stabilization. If you don't need 4K, 1080p 30fps mode will give you the best image stabilization. Unfortunately, you're going to lose the smoothness once you switch to 1080p 60fps mode. Speaking of smooth and stable video, put the phone on a gimbal and you'll get a really nice quality 4K 60fps video. 1080p 30fps selfie video quality is very good. It is sharp and most importantly stable, which is not the case with quite a few phones in this price segment. Audio recording quality is pretty good overall. Hear it yourself. This is 1080p 30fps video test using the front-facing camera of Poco F4. Overall, the F4 is yet another near excellent mid-ranger by Poco. The design is subtle yet elegant, the display is one of the best in class, the performance is top-notch, the cameras are solid, the battery life is very good, and you get super fast charging out of the box. Sure, it would have been nice to have a micro SD card slot, a bit better wide-angle shooter, and the macro lens is the same as on most phones, not really impressive. But if you add IP53 certification and impressive loudspeakers, you're looking at one of the best phones for the price. Poco did it again. I can highly recommend the F4 as one of the best value phones you can buy. All things considered, I think that the Poco F4 is a very solid phone despite a few shortcomings, but tell me in the comment section down below what you think about this device. Would you choose the F4 or would you choose another device in this price category? As always, please like the video if you liked it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and if you want to see more videos like this. And as always, it was Linus, thank you for watching and see you soon.